Hey folks, welcome to Top 3 in Cybersecurity, a bite-sized view of 3 of the most important news stories in cybersecurity this week. Now let's jump in. Coming in at number 1 this week is a vulnerability in a cloud logging system used by AWS, Azure, and GCP that has the potential to allow a remote code execution. Researchers at Tenable have identified a vulnerability in FluentBit, an open source tool for collecting, processing, and forwarding logs. Now, when testing for different projects, researchers actually stumbled upon this issue in how FlowBit parses through the trace requests and not validating the data that's passed through that API. Now, this has resulted in researchers being able to view cross-tenant cloud data in these providers' environments, and with that, vulnerability carries a very critical rating, 9.5 out of 10. So there's significant exposure here with the potential for remote code execution and data leakage. FluentBit has released patch for this vulnerability, and anyone using this software, hopefully all the cloud providers as well as some of these vendors, are urged to patch this very quickly. Coming in at number 2 this week is another story out of the SEC. This one is a penalty for intercontinental exchange of $10 million for not notifying the SEC within 24 hours of a breach. ICE took 4 days to notify the SEC when they were breached as a result of an attack on a VPN device. Now, due to the nature of ICE's business operating as a financial exchange, they are held to more stringent SEC notification rules than conventional public companies. But this should be a sign to everyone that the SEC is taking these disclosure rules very seriously, and I expect to see similar SEC fines for regular public companies who are not adhering to their recommendations and requirements on disclosures for breaches. So expect to see more in this space soon. And speaking of those VPN-based attacks, coming in number 3 this week is a large release of vulnerabilities and patches from Ivanti. Ivanti released half a dozen critical remote code execution vulnerabilities yesterday in their endpoint management, neurons, and secure connect products. Now, these critical vulnerabilities are all centered around SQL injection-based attacks and are also a 9.5 out of 10 risk. Immediate patching is advised of these products, especially due to the internet-facing nature of some of these. And hopefully these signs, there is a big amount of investment here going into patching all these and hopefully closing some of those holes after Ivanti's had a bit of a run in the news lately for some security gaps. So hopefully they are taking this seriously. Okay, that's it for this week. I hope everyone's enjoyed this bite-sized view of cybersecurity news, and I'll catch everyone next week.